Hey guys, I'm in Hampton, Tennessee today, and we're going to check out an old train tunnel up here, abandoned train tunnel. I have my nephew with me today, Logan. Logan, you want to say anything to YouTube?
Howdy.
Howdy. Let's do this. You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, the first thing we got to do is get across this pretty sketchy looking bridge here. As you can tell, nature's kind of reclaimed this thing. It's about, I hope it folds us up, Logan.
I think it will.
All right, we're going to check it out. Let's just be easy now. I mean, this part of the bridge is almost completely gone now. And you can look down here and see the Doe River going by pretty good ways down. So if this thing falls with us, I think we're done for. We're going to call this bridge the Bridge of Death. But the tunnel's kind of right up there. And this right here is the Highway 19 bridge. The old road actually used to come under the bridge there. And this is the bridge that went to the old road. There's not much left. We'll kind of talk a little bit about it and the history of this railroad as we go along. Now this is actually the old trussels that the train went across the river on. And on top of this was a big wooden structure that actually made the train up there more level. The old road came underneath this bridge here. That's the 19E bridge. The old road before that came underneath the bridge and went across that train, or across that bridge we just crossed there. But the tunnel's right up there. Make our way up here, and there is the old train tunnel. So you can see the old trestle there that came across the river and went into the tunnel here. I don't think so. I don't think it ever will. You can see this concrete. This was old water lines they put in not too long ago, I guess to keep from digging ditches all the way through this mountain here. But hard to believe a train went through here. And this was all hand cut in. I mean, imagine the work went in this, Logan.
I wouldn't want to do it.
But eventually, you know, there was only one train from this railroad that survived. It was old number 12. And Gene Autry had bought the old number 12 to use in movies out in California. But a guy named Grover Robbins bought the train from Gene Autry for $1. And in 1956, brought old number 12 back to its home place here, East Tennessee and Western North Carolina, to start a theme park in Blowing Rock, which is still there today. You see the water dripping through the ceiling here. It's not a very long tunnel, but it would be a long tunnel to dig by hand, you know. Cut this thing out in here. Kind of looks like somebody might have been staying in here, sleeping in here. Piece of foam there. Probably laid right up there and kind of slept in here, I guess. And this is the other side of the tunnel. Kind of get a shot of that. The East Tennessee and Western North Carolina Railroad, that was a long name for the people that lived in these mountains back then. So they just nicknamed the train the tweetsie. It was kind of, they thought it sounded like the sound that the whistle made as it went through these mountains. And the name stuck. And we know it around here as the tweetsie train. Yeah. Logan was telling me he had to write a book on this when he was in school. Well, we're walking down the old roadbed here now. Kind of check out the Doe River here. Now, this railroad went from Johnson City to Cranberry, North Carolina. It hauled iron ore out of Cranberry back to Johnson City through Elizabethton. And this was a narrow gauge railroad. And what that is, you have a narrow gauge and a standard gauge railroad. And the narrow gauge, the tracks were only like 3 feet apart. And that's the way they was able to get the train to navigate through these mountains and these hillsides and cross rivers. This was a very rugged country back then. And a lot of the people in the mountains here knew the train as the railroad with a heart, because this is how they was able to travel back then. They didn't have no cars and wasn't much in the way of roads, so they would hitch a ride on the tweetsie as it went back toward Elizabethton for work and different things like that. And of course, if they had money to pay for a ticket, they paid, and if they didn't, they might sweep out the old caboose or something like that in exchange for their ticket. And they'd punch your ticket out with the punch that they used was a heart-shaped punch. So they nicknamed this the railroad with a heart, the tweetsie train. Now, the railroad actually had 13 trains. They had them numbered 1 through 14 because they didn't want a 13. That's bad luck. So the only one out of all of them that survived the scrap heat actually is old number 12. Gosh, it's kind of cold in here, Logan.
I know, I thought it was just me being cold, but it is colder in here.
I know. What do you think about this tunnel?
It's a little spookier than I thought it would be.
Spooky?
It's pretty cold. I like it.
Yeah. How'd you like to have a pick and a hammer and had to chisel your way through this thing?
I don't think it'd been too fun.
Me neither. Probably people died doing this.
I'd say probably so.
Man, this is cool. Me and Logan, we don't get to spend a lot of time together, but this YouTube channel's kind of giving me a chance to spend some time with him. We're going to catch up on some times and make some videos together, right?
Yeah.
As soon as this virus thing clears up, this coronavirus, we're going to head to the Smoky Mountains and do some hiking. Right, Logan?
Yeah.
Okay, Logan, so I guess really in 1950, thereabout, the railroad kind of ended. But in 1956, old Grover acquired engine number 12 from Gene Autry, and she was on her way back home to Blowing Rock. In 1957, Tweetsie Railroad made its opening debut as a western town. So you can go visit the Tweetsie today, the theme park, and maybe get a ride on the old number 12. What do you think?
Well, I like that idea. I ain't getting paid for this though, right?
Oh my goodness, you're just like your daddy. Go get in the truck. Turn back. So, made my escape. Just another broken promise from the government. And that was a hit. This place is probably haunted as I'll get out.